What's going on, Guardians? TBL here, and Deej has certainly been making the rounds on his business trip to New York. He's had a couple of interviews with a few different spots that have given us a little bit of insight into some of the things we'll be getting into in Destiny 2. And of course, today's video is going to be covering some of the information that we learned from those interviews. Now, we got two of them. One was with Heavy.com, while the other one was with BGR.com, and they both talked a lot about the story, the raid focus, the activities and whatnot that we'll be able to dive into when Destiny 2 officially comes out. First up, the Heavy.com interview focused an awful lot on post-game content. So when you've beaten the story, what will you be doing in the world of Destiny? They talked a bit about adding tools to the game to help content creators make content out of Destiny 2. Think stuff like Husky Raids, Machinimas, and whatnot. And the question went like this. Are you looking to add any tools down the road to help content makers build out their suite of Destiny-related content? To which Deej answered, it seems like they're doing quite fine on their own. With the features that are built into the console like the share button and the Xbox drives being what they are, being able to capture content in-game has never been easier, which allows us to focus on creating a great world. So, what we do is build the world. We create this platform where they can all project their personalities into that space. We give them the tools to create a unique character and to forge a very distinct identity in the world of the game, and the way they want to share that is up to them. After that, they focused a bit on stories and specifically mechanics in story missions and strikes. Heavy asked, what some people might not know is that there are some pretty serious puzzles in the first Destiny. Are you looking to integrate those more into core game, or are those strictly for raids and side quests? Deej responded, I think there's definitely a time for those sorts of things. Solving riddles, working together to solve puzzles is definitely an aspect of the Destiny player experience. One of the things we wanted to do is make raids more accessible. There are plenty of people in our community who have never played a raid. So to suddenly take all the things out of the raids and scatter them across the entire landscape of the game would probably create a barrier for certain people to even finish the game and not understand Destiny. So what we want to do is bring more people to the raids. We're doing some interesting things with public events where they would have heroic modifiers. So you're playing a public event with a bunch of people you've never met before, and the more you engage, the more you double down on that public event, the more complex it might become, and the better the rewards will become. I don't think we would want to take something as enjoyable as a campaign mission and all of a sudden have it be a whittler or a puzzle. Then the solo casual player who just wants to go in and blow some stuff up and see some fantastic art that transports their imagination to a strange new world to interrupt that experience and go, hey, do you know what binary is? And really, I can understand what Deej is saying here. I'm always somebody who argues for more mechanics in the base game. Like, I loved what they did with some of the strikes in Rise of Iron, where they brought back stuff like Sepix Prime and my favorite strike in the game, the Nexus, but didn't just have those bosses be the same as they were in year one. They added mechanics to them, like with Sepix Prime, you have to drop his chromatic shield. With the Nexus, you have several different options for modifiers there, from the relic shields to cleansing and all kinds of stuff like that. And I really would like to see more puzzle mechanic based gameplay within the base game and outside of the raids and whatnot. But I can definitely see what Deej means. We can't just go taking the binary code puzzle from the Wrath of the Machine and dropping that into a story mission. So there is definitely a bit of a balance there. I also really like where they've been going with the guided games. I think that's a fantastic option to get people who maybe aren't in a clan, who maybe don't have a lot of friends to play this game with, to dive into stuff like raids. Either way, there's definitely going to be a lot of benefits towards joining a clan in Destiny 2, and I'm definitely very excited about that. And that's actually where this interview went next. They talked a bit about Sherpas and people who carry Kinderguardians, possibly getting some extra rewards for doing that. To which Deej says that if you're a member of a clan, you'll find that being a member of that clan is extremely beneficial. Every member of your clan will earn rewards as you do things, and the more you do things, the more they'll be rewarded. One of the obstacles to doing things is getting 6 people together to do that stuff. So many clans will say, yeah, we were going to raid last night, but 2 people didn't show up at the last minute and I'm pretty pissed about it. Well, now with guided games, you can open your doors. So the clans, from an emotional standpoint, are going to be the leaders of this new community. You're going to be the ones that introduce solo players to the glory that has always eluded them. And of course, granting certain rewards to clans that are taking people on definitely gets a thumbs up from me. After that, they moved on to talking a bit about post-game content, which again, I mentioned at the very start of this, is something that Destiny 1 was definitely lacking in certain areas. Heavy asked, for the raid and other post-game content, what are you looking to offer players after they've completed the story? To which Deej answered, specifically relative to the raid, that's an excellent question. Beyond the campaign, once the last cinematic plays out, I think you're going to find a lot more variety. When you're in a destination, you open the map and the map will be littered with all these different things you can do. You can go on adventures that will tell you more about those destinations and the characters that you'll discover in those places. You're used to walking up to a character in the tower or in a social space like the Reef or Fellwinter Peak, but you'll actually walk up to the characters and destinations and interact with them. So they'll put on this map different things like adventures or lost sectors. There are more things to experience as part of the in-game aside from raids, aside from the Nightfall and, Crucible in-game activities. There are things that you can do in the world to expand your understanding of those places or get rewards. Public events that you'll be able to see on the map and know when they begin, instead of people literally wandering around the world of Destiny hoping that a public event would start, or crowdsourcing together to figure out a map. This will be a function that is served in the game. And what we want to do is immerse people's minds in the world of the game and not force them to leave to make their experience complete. I think you're going to find, even independent of the raid, there's a far greater variety of things to do to enjoy your Guardian lifestyle after the final cutscene has played out. And really, that all sounds fantastic. First things first, being able to see where patrol missions are going to start just out there on the map is a massive change. It's a great way to kind of direct people's attention when they're out there in the patrol space. And really, the patrol spaces look like they're going to be just a lot more filled with life. Between these public events, between the bosses, between the lost sectors, the adventures, it looks like there's just going to be a ton of stuff to do. Finally, they asked the last, most important question to Deej. Will he go on record to confirm that Warlocks are the best class? To which Deej, of course, answered, yes. Yes, Warlocks are the best class. But there we go, that's pretty much it for the Heavy.com interview. And I'd have to say, it was a fairly substantive interview. We got a lot of good information in there. Very happy to hear about some of the changes made to the clan system again. Again, I do believe guided games were a good idea, and it's probably going to work in a fantastic way for just getting that content out there, getting people who usually never run that in-game stuff to actually do it. Opening up the game, making it more accessible to people is never a bad thing. And of course, rewarding the clans and the Sherpas that open their clans and go into those guided games to pull people through content, rewarding them with extra stuff is definitely a great incentive to get it going. But alright, that's pretty much it for this interview wrap-up. What do you Guardians think about this? The changes to guided games, adding puzzles to story mode and strikes. And how do you feel about some of the changes coming to patrol missions? Be sure to let us know down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like and make sure you subscribe to stay tuned for the latest Destiny 2 information. We are 4 weeks away from the launch of this game, and as the weeks go by, you can only expect the news to ramp up. So make sure you're staying watching. But alright, that's it for this one, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.